Bob Costa brought up the rally in Arizona tomorrow. There's a chance that Donald Trump may go out there and actually pardon the sheriff who defied a judge and a judge's order and violated it, ignored it, and is in the middle of that process. And if he does that, he may please 3 or 4 white nationalists, but he will further enrage every judge from Maine to Southern California.
There's so many multiplier effects of it. I mean, one, I'm not clear if you do want immigration and you do immigration reform that includes a wall, does this endear you to Democrats and Republicans? We keep talking about how he's got to win Democrats over. He also has to reunite his party. You have Republicans in Arizona urging the president to postpone this trip in light of all of the things happening around him. You can't ignore Tim Scott, the popular Republican senator from South Carolina who happens to be African-American, said over the weekend that President Trump's moral authority has been weakened. I'm being charitable, I think, in describing what he said. We all knew there would be a moment when the president would have to look the American people in the eye and talk to us about national security. This is one of those nights. The president's moral authority has been challenged. It will be curious to hear. I think he's going to do exactly what's been said. He's going to package this a little differently, a few more thousand troops, and hopefully they have a strategy. I doubt that they will. But you have to wonder who believes him. If the Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania numbers are correct, people heard him in the campaign say this would be easy to solve. We would get out of these things. This is not something America should be in, yet we're traveling right back down that path. And let us not forget, South Korea and the U.S. are engaged in joint military exercises as we speak, and directed at showing that we can deal with North Korea. North Korea, it prompted their leader to say that he's going to unleash or launch a series of missiles at the United States. Now, whether he does this or not, it's amazing we're not talking about this morning. All of these distractions, Bannon and others, are taking us away from, I think, so many important issues. And as much as I think you're right about immigration, I hope you're wrong. Because if that's where their focus is, we will continue to be distracted.
No, I said I think that's where Bannon's focus is.
But I mean, I didn't mean yours. I mean, if that's where his focus is, which turns the administration to that, we've got bigger problems.
Yeah, Bob Costa, take a look. This is the senator from South Carolina, Senator Tim Scott, over the weekend.
As we look to the future, it's going to be very difficult for this president to lead if, in fact, that moral authority remains compromised. His comments on Tuesday that erased his positive comments on Monday started to compromise that moral authority that we need the president to have for this nation to be the beacon of light to all mankind.
You know, it is pretty extraordinary, Bob, the number of Republican senators, and who knows, maybe it's 8, 9, 10, whatever it is. It's pretty significant that the president's having more and more senators speak out against him. He flies into Arizona and has 2 senators, 2 United States senators who are Republicans from Arizona, who are openly hostile to his actions since Charlottesville, and have been more hostile than most.
That's right, Joe. And to follow up on Congressman Ford's point, you think about the response tonight. If the president strikes traditionally hawkish tones in his rhetoric on Afghanistan, you're going to see some applause from the regular Republican ranks. But the question remains, if the president now has Bannon out, we always talk about Bannon, but what's really revealing is who's still there. General Kelly, General Mattis, General McMaster. These are the people the president is now surrounding himself with, along with Jared Kushner, the senior advisor. Does he pay a cost for, even as he gets applause for moving in a hawkish direction on Afghanistan, does he pay a cost with his base for this decision on Afghanistan in those states that send a lot of people abroad to fight for their country?
I just don't, Mark, I just don't think he does. In fact, I know he doesn't. I'm telling you.
When you say he doesn't what?
He doesn't pay for being responsible for listening to 3 men who have fought in wars for this country for years, one who has given his own son for the service of this country. It is a mirage that somehow there are going to be these white nationalists out there that are going to go up in arms. And if Donald Trump does the responsible thing and doesn't pull all the troops out of Afghanistan like Barack Obama did in Iraq back in 2011, which a lot of us thought, hey, That's great. We've been fighting there too long. And then saw it blow up in everybody's face. I mean, he's not going to lose any more support for looking presidential and listening to General McMaster, General Kelly, and General Mattis.
I agree that he won't pay a bigger price, but in the larger question of what is he doing day to day that will allow him to move Congress to bend Congress to his will, I don't think this helps him in any way.
I actually think looking as presidential as this man can look, delivering a message and sending a message to members of Congress that the amateurs are out, and he now has people who have been running huge organizations and fighting hard fights and actually going into battle with men and women and losing their own son, somebody that understands the cost of these things. I think that helps him, not only with members of Congress, but with a lot of people in the country. Bob Costa, thank you so much for being with us.